So at the time, we lived in Nashville in a small house. My sister and I, we shared a bedroom. We had bunk beds, and I was on the top bunk at the time. So one night, I woke up like kids do, and I just decided, like, oh, I'm thirsty. So I like roll over and see these two figures standing next to my bed. I had the general impression that they were my mommy and daddy at first. And I said, I'm thirsty. I'm really thirsty. So they gave me a drink, a blue drink, what looked like not in a regular glass, but like in a beaker. And I drank it all. And then it was almost like the veil was lifted. And then afterwards, it was like I really actually saw what these creatures were. What these creatures were.
The history of our Earth is so different from what we can imagine.
The Smithsonian, if they found out about a large skeleton somewhere, was to go get it.
I'm going to assume at least one person is right, because if one person's right, it busts the paradigm.
It all goes back to the fallen cherub. And the problem with the modern day church, they have a very truncated view of the supernatural.
This backdrop that's just pregnant with all kinds of meaning associated with this Mount Hermon event.
Welcome to Blurry Creatures.
And this guy defects from the kingdom. That's a big deal.
All right, Luke, the Blurryverse is just getting blurrier by the day. Putting out some wild content. We got a BlurryCon coming up. How you feeling, Luke?
Feeling good. Feeling good, Nate.
We just went on Tony's show from the Confessionals, and we had a 2-hour mind bender there, just going through 3 years of doing this podcast. It was kind of fun, huh?
Yeah, we were joking last night that blurry itself has become an adjective, and we're just grateful for that opportunity to have things be labeled that way, and grateful for our members and for the people that come alongside us to support the show and create this amazing community. And like you said, excited about BlurryCon. We're a little more than a month out here. Looking forward to meeting folks, to having our stellar lineup of guests present and speak and do it all with an 80s theme. So lots of fun stuff to look down the pipe at, and it just, again, we just can't express our gratitude here as we get into January 2023. It's pretty cool that we're doing this and talking to each other more than we probably like, but
I like talking to you, Luke.
Oh, thanks, Nate.
Yeah,
appreciate that, brother. Yeah.
No, you're a good guy. I don't mean that in a cheesy way. I think you and I were sort of thrown in this. We were supposed to do this blurry journey together, and here we are, coming on.
Drinking juice from the fire hose,
Yes, and speaking of juice, this next episode's gonna be a little wild one. Our new friend Hannah, she was just a little girl, and supposedly these two entities came to her room and offered her this strange glowing juice. And it sounds like we're making it up, but I guarantee you we're not. And it's a wild one, and it goes in line with a lot of things we've heard on the show. Luke, we started off early, and Tim Alberino blew our brains away with talking about the Greys and the alien phenomenon. I remember early on you were like, I don't know what I think about these aliens. And then you hear enough stories, and people come on and tell their experiences, and you see enough weird UFO videos, you're like, okay, there's something to all this.
Something's happening, right? I mean, we talked to Karen, and we just did a recent episode with Ellie Marzulli, who has a new film out about abductees and these, 4 individuals that have no connection, that have the exact same story, and there's something happening here. And I know there's schools of thought on this, but regardless of where you fall in the schools of thought on abduction, there is a phenomenon that's happening. As far as the mechanics of it, we can go back and forth on this, all day with a bunch of different experts and stories, but things are happening and people are having experiences, and they are experiencing encounters, interactions, or even being taken by, you know, what we were calling, when people are saying, are gray aliens most often. And so, yeah, grateful to have Hannah on. It's a fascinating story. We had a members movie. We had the Gold Members movie night last night. We watched Dr. Heiser's movie on angels and demons, and he went into a lot of this about the UFO phenomenon, abductions, and all the things that don't fit nicely inside the box. And if you're a member, you get to enjoy a lot of things on Blurry Creatures. Obviously, members were able to buy tickets early to BlurryCon, and you guys bought all of them. So we try to make sure that the members are taken care of. You can have, for gold members, we do movie nights and other things. We're trying to always roll out new ideas. And regular members, you get access to your own RSS feed. You get the bonus episodes, and you get chat rooms. You get to chat on Discord and Facebook and Telegram and things like that. And so a lot of times you can ask us personal questions. We try to get back to you in those spaces. So there's a great community here in the Blurry space. And we also have, you know, other works in this year. We have some other events that are coming up. So always good reasons to be a member. You get bonus material, you get access to other members, and you get to hear about things first. So go to blurrycreatures.com/members, become a member. You get to listen to this one.
That's right. And this is what we try to do. We aim to put out extra content and exclusive episodes, and you also get discounts on merch, inside track for all of the things that are coming ahead. We've got specific channels that are solely and explicitly for our members to discuss all things Blurry, as Nate said at the top of this, in the Blurryverse. So take a look. If you'd like to join up, you can listen to this episode now to become a member, and you can also support the podcast and help us to keep cranking out the juice. Turn that juice on. Turn it to 11, as they say in one of our favorite 80s movies. This one goes to 11.
This one
turn that juice up.
Yeah. Ironic we're talking about juice. So let's get Hannah on this podcast episode. She's got a great story, and keep an open mind when you hear hers. And seriously, thank you to everyone out there who listens to our show and feels comfortable enough to send us an email about your experience, come on the show, and share your experience with other listeners. I know it's helped people put two and two together who've had some sort of Blurry experience, and if it weren't for a couple of the early brave people to come on and share their stories, I don't think other people would want to come on. So thank you. You can go to blurrycreaturespodcast@gmail.com. Shoot us an email if you've had some weird experience, or send us a message on social media. But usually email is the best, and maybe it's just blurry enough that we can put it out in our network and see what people think. So let's get Hannah on the show.